Look, I love the team. I don't know what this team is anymore. We're going to take a long, hard look in the mirror, and we're going to find out how many things that we should have done. We spoke about it. The star. The star is supposed to mean more than that. And right now I don't. I think that's the most devastating thing about it for me is that I spent a lot of time following this team. In 41 years, I've unfortunately seen some pretty awful football teams that had to wear the star because you had to have 52 men, 53. There's not too many teams I could pick out of those years to say that they're worse than this one. There's not too many. I think there might be one or two that come to mind. And yeah, there's a lot of injuries. I can't see one person coming back from injury that's going to fix this. And that's been the narrative all week. If you listen to some of the people that do Cowboy content like myself on a week-to-week basis, and even if you listen to the radio station that I listen to, they spoke about it. So this is just a bad team. And no Deron Bland, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence is going to fix it. This whole narrative that you've got to make sure you have a keen eye for what's going to be around the corner because around the corner is very quickly coming. You also have to say tomorrow's not guaranteed. In the short period of time that you have, don't you want to do what you need to do? Let me put it to you like this. Jerry Jones may not be alive next year. So all of this putting stuff off and pushing money down the road for next year, it may bite you in the ass. Man, I would have got Derrick Henry. I would have went and got Devontae Adams. And as a matter of fact, I pushed for the Jets to come up with something for what's his name that's been out. I can't even think of his name now. But that's another pass rusher. You get him in. Hey, all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh my God, the Cowboys are serious. And you may not win the Super Bowl, but at least you put in the effort and you gave it everything that you had to get it done, right? To get something out there for the team to at least look like they're trying. You didn't do any of that. You didn't even attempt. So for that, you kind of get what you deserve. Let's go see what this exhibition match between a football team and a bunch of grown little kids looks like. I ain't putting no money on nothing. Somebody's going to win today. That's all I know. We're going to see how this team can compete against a first-place team. Washington will win, and Philadelphia will win. Both of those teams will have 7 wins at the end of this. As disappointing as that is, you had to win against San Francisco, and it would have been great to get a win against Detroit, just to keep close to the running. Straight garbage. This is the 2015 offense. Ooh. This team is very comparable to the 2015 team. When you go back and think about it. Very comparable. Romo was hurt. That's the only real difference. You've got your starting quarterback. And I'm not making no excuses anymore, bro. I'm not making injury excuses. I'm not making none of it. Rust excuses. None of it. I'm not doing it anymore. You've lost your ability to use excuses to explain what it is that's going on with you on the field. Now it's a factor of you're just not being skilled enough to do it. If the Cowboys lose today, it'll be a very, 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 very bad situation going forward. Because you lose today, you've got no shot in hell against Eagles next week. I don't like to think too far ahead, but at that point, you start packing it in. If you lose today, you start packing it in. You start looking at the draft. I'll just be honest with you. The season will be over with if you drop to 5 losses right now. It'll be over with. It's too early to have 5 losses on the season. People here to watch me get upset at the Cowboys for a bad performance. Just hold tight. It's on its way. I nailed it. I said this team is looking eerily similar to that 2015 Cowboys team. I went and watched that team too. That was the year, I believe. I went to they played Tampa Bay. That's the one. I went to this game. I went to this game. And it was Matt Castle. That's right. It was Matt Castle. We were hoping Romo was going to be back for that game. We had waited and waited and waited. We bought the tickets before the season started, so we knew we were going to go to that game. And we wanted to see him for that week. But he ended up coming back for the Miami game the next week. And there were people who went. I remember the flight down to Tampa. There's a bunch of people who were like, we're staying in Florida. We're going to go watch both. We're going to watch the Tampa game. Then we're going to drive down to Miami on Monday. And we're staying in Miami for the week. And we're going to go watch the Miami game. Romo came back for the Miami game and won. And I was like, okay, now let's hope we can make a run. Got hurt the next week against Carolina. It was not a good season. We look a lot like that season, but we got our starting quarterback. He ain't hurt. McCarthy only has his job because he's not good. Jerry doesn't want a good coach to overshadow. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad way of seeing it. When the team wins, it's Jerry's team, not McCarthy's. Nah, hey, you're not wrong. I'm going to tell you this. If they don't win more than 9 games this year, Mike McCarthy will not be the head coach next year. I hate to say it. It's quite possible that they only get 7 wins. I can see this being much like it's been all season so far. It's crazy to me. It's the simple stuff, man. It's the basics. This team sucks at the basics right now. 3, 2, 1 on the play clock. Delay a game. I guess it's time to start looking at who's going to be the potential head coach for the Cowboys to start the 2025 season. Who do they go get if they fire Mike McCarthy? The Cowboys don't win more than 7 games this year. I think you clean house. It's just my take. I don't want to hear the words humbling. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so tired of hearing it 3 times a year. These players get on the mic after the game. Oh, this was a humbling experience. And, humbling indicates that you were the Ravens winning 5 straight and you lose a game that you were in at the end of the game. You know what I mean? In a 21-24 game, you were winning by 24 points, and the opponent managed to get close enough to get a late touchdown. That's a humbling experience, right? That's a humbling experience. To get blown out twice in a year. The wins that you got are against teams that, let's face it, you were supposed to beat. The only win that I can say that you got that was legitimate was the Pittsburgh game because you played so poorly through 3 quarters that you should have lost. You had a late start because of the weather delay. You should have lost. You were hurt. You should have lost. You just so happened to get a good look on the last play of the game to get the touchdown on a walk-off touchdown. To a team that was running with a quarterback that they didn't feel like was going to be their franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, for all intent purposes, they should have lost the Steelers game. You should only have 2 wins. Giants, Cleveland. Cleveland sucks. Giants suck. You could have beat the Niners last week. How'd that turn out? You should have beat the Ravens. You had an opportunity late to win that game. Your defense let you down. You waited too long to start getting into a rhythm. That broke your mind. It killed your mindset. I've never seen a team win 12 games 3 years in a row, come out and be this bad. And the injuries are not the excuse. It's not the reason. It's not the why. I don't want to hear anybody in the offseason say, well, we had a long stretch where we didn't have the players available. No, there were players on the waiver wire. No, there were players on the trading block. No, there were teams ready to sell everything in the house. You could have Devontae Adams. You could have Mark Henry. You could have old boy from the Jets that is, for the life of me, I can't remember his name. That's a guy I could say, hey, you should have went and got those 3 players. Right now, you'd be competitive. And everybody would go, holy shit, Jerry is serious. Yeah, the linebacker that sat out for the Jets. For the life of me, I can't remember his name. Sign him to a 1-year deal, bro. Give him $3.5 million. Say, hey, bro, I don't know if we can do a long-term deal, but if you want to play football this year, we'd like to bring you in. You want to finish the year with the Cowboys, and we'll set you up to do whatever you want to do going into the offseason. If you want to go get a big deal, you can go get a big deal, okay? But we want to give you $3.5 million to play this year for us. At least take a stab at it. Take a chance. Swing the bat at it. What are you losing? The worst case scenario, he says no. No, I want $15 million for 3 years, or I'm not signing for nobody. Okay, cool. We're not interested. It's just like, no, they want to save money for the future. Man, the future is not guaranteed, bro. Jerry, you may not live to see December 1st. I hate to say that. I'm not trying to wish for this man to die, but damn, bro. Like, do you really want to win a Super Bowl before you pass? Really? Do you really? Because if you did, you'd wear a seatbelt when you drive in a car. Goes back to what I said earlier, bro. He's reckless. He makes excuses, and he doesn't do anything to get results in a positive manner, bro. Ford commercial. Driving around in a Ford pickup truck with no seatbelt on. Has an accident in Dallas in 2022. No seatbelt on. Running the franchise with no seatbelt on. Are you really concerned about the future, bro? Man, I don't know, man. I'm almost tempted to say we need the 4th place in the division just so we can get an easy schedule next year. I mean, if you're going to suck this bad, you might as well suck enough to get 4th place. Try to fall below the Giants. Screw it. You're not going to win the division. And you're not going to go into the playoffs. Only 2 teams are going to make it out of this division if you're lucky to see 2 teams make it out the way that other divisions are playing. Let's face it. If Washington wins the division, the Eagles might not even make it into the playoffs because there's so many teams in the NFC right now that have multiple teams in their division that are neck and neck going to the wire. If you look at the standings, I absolutely hate being pessimistic, man. I really do. But it's just, there's nothing about this team that gives me confidence to be optimistic. I would say it can't get no worse, but the next 3 minutes, they're going to be talking about how, oh, my God. Dak's done for today. Dak's done for today. This is a loss. This is a loss. It's already over with. Yeah, this game is over with already. He may have just came over and told him, hey, you're done for today, man. You're done. And Dak just said, okay. And yet, you know what's going to happen? On the sideline at the end of this game? Out at the 50-yard line at the end of this game? Cowboys fans running up to Bijan. Hey, man, let me get your jersey, bro. Let's swap. Hey, Kurt, give me that jersey, man. Give me that jersey. Bro, you just took a L. You just took a L when you needed it most. Oh, but you want that jersey, bro. You want that jersey to hang up on your wall.
Defensive line has had injuries all year, right? DeMarcus Lawrence got hurt after 4 games. Marshawn Nealon banged up.
Oh, wow. So If Dak's hamstring is bad, there you go. There you go. You just lost your quarterback for 4 to 6 weeks. You're ready for a very, very miserable 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, this just got miserable for me as a streamer. Our defense is terrible. No, rush is not going to help. No person coming back is going to help this. It's just not. It's not. The only game that I'm not going to be streaming for the rest of the season is the Thanksgiving game because I will not be at home to stream. I'm traveling to a family member's house, and I won't be available to stream for that game. I made the decision initially when I was asked if I could go to my family member's home. I was like, dude, I got to stream the game. Like, no, I'm not. I can't do that. And then I thought about it, and I was like, to rob my family from having an opportunity to go and spend time with their family, nobody's coming to my house. So that's not fair to them, first of all. Second of all, who's going to be watching my stream on Thanksgiving Thursday when they're with their family? Not many people. But we're going to be here for the rest of them. Whatever game it is that the Cowboys will be in, I'm not going to run away from it. I'm just letting you know early when we get to that, because this team is going to look bad for the next 2 weeks leading up to Thanksgiving. It's going to look bad, okay? I don't want people to get that false narrative that I'm running away from streaming because the team is so bad and I'm not serious about streaming. No, I'm serious about this. We're going to do this. We're going to keep doing it. But Thanksgiving will be the only game that we don't stream going forward. Hey, the good thing about it is we know I'm not streaming for the playoffs. I get the playoffs off because Week 17 is the last week of football for me. I'll start looking at what players collegiately we need to be talking about, what possible free agents we won't sign, what young college head coaches could be available that we won't bring in for interviews, what offensive coordinators would be great to bring in that we will not bring in. Or if we bring them in, it'll just be to give the false narrative that we consider them as a good offensive coach for our football team that we inevitably won't be able to sign because it's just not in the cards for whatever reason. What defensive coordinator could potentially be not signing with the Cowboys? Those sorts of things. Those are the topics that we'll be talking about coming out of the Week 18, which will be our Game 17. Jerry will say we're in good spot to win. Yeah, most likely. This will be a quote-unquote fluke. We had a bad run of injuries, and we had notable situations where, we should have done differently and we didn't. Those things will be handled, quote-unquote, and we like our odds going forward. We like our players. Jerry Jones is like, let me out of here. I'm done. I got to go to the locker room so I can make up a bunch of excuses and a bunch of... It's really unfortunate that our quarterback got hurt out there, and we're gonna take a long, hard look in the mirror, and we're gonna find out how many things that we should have done, that we could have done, that we would have done, that we had the players out there, and we're a hurt football team, and to come out here and in the great state of Georgia against Atlanta and be able to do as well as we did, we feel pretty confident going into that Philadelphia game next week, and we're going to do everything we can to put ourselves in the best position, and that's all I've got to say about that. And hopefully, we do what we got to do relative to where we are and what we want to be to put together a good enough opportunity to go out and do what we need to do with what we've got, and it's not an easy thing to do. Winning games in the NFL is not an easy thing. It's not something that we think we can do to a level of the Chiefs, or the way that the way that they do things. But we've just got to go out there and be better on the ball. And come on, get out of here. I know everything you've got to say. So it will go in the books. 27-21. I wish I could say good effort. I'm not going to, because it was not a good effort. We'll start, putting together what I think the team needs to do for next year. We'll start talking about next season. Leave comments for what players you think I need to look at on the collegiate level, what coaches you want me to start paying attention to, what you think the team could do in the offseason. This season is a wrap. Calling it now. There's no need to try to have hope for this year. It's going to be a wild ride for the rest of the year, but we'll do it again next week. That's all we can do.